everyone, my name is Filipova. I work for Citibank and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Treasury and Trade Solutions in Asia. You might be wondering, what am I doing in the Visa card office here in Hong Kong? And the answer is because our next guest is Maaike Steinebach, who is the General Manager of Visa for Hong Kong and Macau. She is a tech guru, and Maaike's passion about women empowerment shows in everything she does. Apart from her job here in Visa, she is investor, co-founder of the FinTech Association. Hi Maaike, I'm so happy to meet you here and have this interview with you. Let us start, and first things first, tell us who are you?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me today. So my name is Maaike Steinebach. I'm very interested in how technology is shaping the world that we live in today. And I've really seen the evolution that has happened in financial services to be more inclusive around the use of technology.
Great, thank you. There are not many women in this industry. What is your advice to those women who would like to join the industry?
So I've been in banking for 20 years. And whilst I'm very passionate around financial technology and FinTech, what was really eye-opening for me was to see how little women were involved in this space. But we were really thinking about how can we develop FinTech talent in Hong Kong, and in particular, how can we also convince young students that are thinking business and law and medicine to think FinTech and entrepreneurship and technology. But we were also thinking around how we could give more female founders and female entrepreneurs a voice in this very male-dominated tech space. And to come back to your question, which was actually what advice would you have? Well, I think firstly, my favorite word is actually curiosity. So I think at the moment there's an enormous amount of free content available online. Our Chinese University of Hong Kong actually have a free FinTech course. But there's quite a few apps out there called edX or Coursera that all offer free training for people. And I think this is a fantastic source just to get some general knowledge around how technology might impact your business. I think the second thing that is important then is because the topic is so wide, you have the potential to drown, really drown. So try and find an area that might be the next evolution in your job or related to something that you're passionate about, and go a little bit deeper. So let's say if you're working in trade finance or you have important scope, maybe think about blockchain. Or if you're in a highly industrialized industry, think about robotics. Or think about how AI or artificial intelligence can help you make better use of your data. So it's kind of thinking about the box around how can I apply technology to my business model. And thirdly, I would say find some volunteer work. Because there are so many organizations in Hong Kong, but globally, that are doing some great things, whether it's a FinTech association or whether it's through a government collective, a hackathon. There are accelerator programs where you can be a mentor, but it does require you to take a bit of action and to be active. Don't expect all of this just to come your way. You kind of need to put yourself out there.
No, that's great. I hope our women entrepreneurs took note of this. That was great advice. Thank you very much. So you spoke about technology and how it changes at such an amazing pace. What are these top 5 technologies that we should watch and look for in the next 5 years?
Yeah, that's very interesting because I think that is very subjective as well. Yeah. But I think if we look at it from the perspective of entrepreneurs, I think if we have seen one thing that has really accelerated over COVID in particular, it's been digital transformation and digitization. as well as kind of mobile and contact payments. So on the one hand, people are very worried about safety and hygiene, but also the ability to do more things online just because they can't actually physically go to a store. I think the second thing is you will hear a lot of people talk about blockchain as a service, or banking as a service, or platform as a service. And I think one of the key trends that people are trying to show here is that this is no longer about you needing to do everything yourself. I think the third trend, and that's really just coming back to financial services and the financial industry, is obviously as our industry gets much more regulated, there is much more need for what we call RegTech, or regulatory technology. And the fact that there is technology now being developed for companies to manage this and not having to spend a huge amount of costs on external advisors or valuable opportunities spend it on internal stuff, but are able to now spend it with clients, customers and partners, I think is very exciting. The fourth one I would like to talk about is around digital currencies and crypto. Now, obviously, this is a relatively new interest area, and I think for a long time the cryptocurrency and digital currency has been a little bit in the doghouse. I think not a lot of people really knew exactly how it worked and what it was all about. But I think now that we are seeing wider adoption from governments, from financial institutions, asset managers, I think this is also a technology that is here to stay. And the last one, I think, as we discussed on the digitization as well, I think the ability to change an e-commerce experience for consumer is going to be very important. So think gamification, think live streaming. I mean, I have really been impressed over the last 6 to 9 months to see what people come up with to engage with their clients in different ways. And the fact that people love esports and gaming, that will be a trend that will bring it into our daily lives very, very quickly.
Thank you very much. Next question. How can entrepreneurs build business around FinTech?
Yeah.
Any examples you can give?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I think FinTech or technology in general should be put to use to actually solve customer pain points. So I've been working with a lot of accelerator programs and startups as mentors, and the ones that actually succeed are the ones that have really identified what pain points there are and then found a way to solve it. So obviously there's great entrepreneurs out there that have fantastic ideas, but if they're actually not solving for a problem that people think they have, it's going to be very hard to sell your solution. But if you really focus on pain points, then I think you can really have a fantastic business model or opportunity. So I think there is a handful of companies in Hong Kong that do that very well. We work with a company called Neat, for example, that has identified that for small business owners, it's been really problematic in opening a bank account. It takes a long time. You need to provide a lot of documentation, a lot of information. But they also recognize that as an entrepreneur, you kind of have to do finances, you need to do inventory checks, you need to do your taxes, you need to do your accounting, you need to build a CRM system. So they have really very diligently gone through all the pain points that entrepreneurs have and tried to solve for that. So I think that is a fantastic kind of digital-only company that has identified real-life pain points and actually found solutions for that. And I think the real strength of a great startup or a great entrepreneur is also recognizing when you're going on the wrong path. So actually fail and quit while you're ahead and then refocus, or continue to iterate and build. And I think that's why also this time is so incredibly exciting for entrepreneurs, because there is so much data that you have available that you can use to kind of, coming back to the first point around giving consumers a better or improved experience. Actually, you can give consumers a highly personalized experience by the use of data. And I think once entrepreneurs and small businesses recognize that they have data in their own right that they could actually use for this purpose, they're almost becoming a technology company in their own right.
Great.
Yeah.
And you personally, which is this new technology that is the most interesting and you're the most excited about? Can you share with us?
Yeah, so I think I've also evolved in my experience with technology, and as I mentioned, I've been very excited about the ability to empower women. And that's why actually the technologies that I'm most excited about are actually the technologies that really give women the ability to be empowered again around their own health and well-being. This is about mental well-being, physical well-being, sexual well-being, and the ability really for women to do all of this well-being servicing in the comfort of their own home and their own space. And it's really interesting to see that 75% of women indicate that they would be very happy to use technology as a tool to support their own well-being, much more than men actually. And I think if you look at women owning around 40% of the global wealth at the moment, the fact that we're going to live longer, that we're going to go through all kind of life stages around our health and well-being, whether we want to or not, that we would like to be able to address and make sure that we are able to grow old gracefully and healthily. With the spending power that women have, I'm very excited about that opportunity in the future.
Great, thank you so much. It was great having you today.
Yeah, thank you, Annie, and thank you so much for visiting Visa and having me on your talk today.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
Hope you enjoyed this episode brought by our corporate partner Hobbs, a premium women's fashion brand. If you want to join us, just visit few.community and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done that already.